I think what's interesting now is Bitcoin is, I believe, in crypto summer, right? I think crypto summer started June 15th. Now, how bizarre, and I don't think anyone was paying attention to me, so that's not my point, but I thought it was bizarre. A few months ago I said June 15th was the equinox. That's the day that BlackRock announces their ETF. I think we grind toward 50 by the halving, then we go parabolic.
According to Mark Yusko, he observes that the concept of crypto summer began on June 15th, and he finds it intriguing how this aligns with BlackRock ETF announcement. The Bitcoin price has climbed over $30,000 last month, its highest level since last summer, even as U.S. regulators and lawmakers have been accused of creating a secret alliance to destroy crypto. After the previous halving, the price of Bitcoin continued to rise, eventually reaching a peak of over $64,000 in 2021. The third halving event is scheduled to occur in 2024, when the block reward will be reduced from 12.5 to 6.25 Bitcoin. It is difficult to say with certainty what the fair value of Bitcoin will be after the 2024 halving, but some models suggest that the price could reach as high as $100,000 or more. Mark Yusko believes that it is likely that only BlackRock will get Bitcoin ETF approval, with SEC playing the kingmaker. The U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission has officially recognized BlackRock's recent spot Bitcoin ETF application. As seen on its official website, the regulatory body acknowledged the ETF filing from BlackRock in a section dedicated to ETFs filed during the third quarter of the year. Along with BlackRock, the SEC also acknowledged other applications sent in by a handful of other leading asset managers. Applications from Fidelity, Wisdom Tree Funds, VanEck, Galaxy Digital, Invesco US were also posted on the site. New York-based BlackRock ended the second quarter with $9.4 trillion in assets under management, up from $8.5 trillion a year earlier and $9.1 trillion in the first quarter. In June, during its Investors' Day, BlackRock said it saw 5% organic growth in base fee revenues between 2023 and 2027 and gains in market share. We will now bring you clips of Mark from his recent interview with Blockworks Macro. Before we proceed further in this video, please make sure to subscribe our channel and click the bell icon to stay updated.
Last time the fair value was 20, we got to 60, 3 times. That probably isn't going to happen this time. This time, if fair value is 50, could we get 3 times above that? I don't think so. Could we get 2 times? Sure, for sure. And then you drop back to fair value and probably go below fair value in the next crypto winter. But here's the thing that I think is interesting. If you look at all the halvings, we basically 10x, and this fits the Metcalfe's law curve. We basically 10x the total market cap. Basically, we add a zero. So from 100 to 1,000, 1,000 to 10,000. This will be 100,000, and then the next one in 2028 is 1,000,000. And that's just stupid. How can you even say that? I'm like, I've said for a long time, like over a year ago on this show, that none of these ETFs were going to get approved. And look, I have money. I'm invested in Bitwise. I'm invested in Amun. I'm rooting for 21 shares. I'm rooting for Bitwise.
To get a spot ETF.
Yeah, to get a spot ETF. And I was like, none of them are going to get approved. The only one that will get approved is BlackRock. And people are like, oh, that's ridiculous. Here we are. And now everybody's saying, oh, but they're not first in line. I don't care. They are going to be the ones that get approved. And if that means they have to disapprove 21 shares, even though it's the same application, basically, it's not exactly the same. I think, again, I'm entitled to my personal opinion. I think they're going to do it. And, others are saying, well, they have to approve 21 shares if they want to approve BlackRock. No, they don't. They don't. Technically, they are first in the queue, but they can do what they always have done, is just let it expire and then approve the next one. So we'll see what happens. But I'm still sticking with BlackRock will get approved. They will take the market share. And why is that important? Well, it's important because if you believe, as I do, that everything of the last 2 years was not an accident, that it was an intentional set of acts to disrupt the disruptors. as I said, we're in phase 3. Phase 1, the Gandhi quote, first they ignored it. 2009 to 15, no one cared about crypto. No one cared in Washington, D.C. No one cared in New York City. No one cared. No. I mean, Jamie might have heard it from his daughter. Hey, Dad, this stuff's cool. He's like, whatever, go away. And it's a bunch of nerds and geeks playing with their magic internet money.
Yusko believes that the deliberate release of Bitcoin's first image during the 2008 financial crisis holds a profound message about challenging the trust industry's centuries-long dominance. In the interview, Mark Yusko raised the possibility that influential institutions, including BlackRock, could have exerted their influence on state and national regulators to suppress, similar to the historical episode of the Knickerbocker Trust. The Knickerbocker Trust was a financial trust that was formed in 1889 by financier J.P. Morgan. While BlackRock is the world's largest asset manager with over $10 trillion in assets under management, the company has been accused of using its influence to stifle competition and innovation in the financial markets.
If you're the largest asset manager in the world and or the largest bank in the world, and along comes this technology, back to my socks, and look, there's a reason the first image on the Bitcoin blockchain is the London Times chancellor on the verge of the second bailout for banks. That's not an accident, right? It's not an accident that January 3rd, 2009. 2009. Thank you.
Yeah.
January 3rd, 2009. That's not an accident, right? It's not like it was invented that morning. Satoshi woke up and finished typing. And no, there was a reason that this was all released in the middle of the global financial crisis and the banking crisis. It's because this technology makes the 800-year run of the trust industry superfluous, right? We went from a system where we needed trust. And I use the very simple example, and people are tired of hearing it, but it makes sense. Like, if I lent you money, I wrote down in my ledger originally that, Jack owes me $100 and you come back to pay me back. I'm an unscrupulous guy. I've changed the number to 200. And you're like, no, I only owe you 100. And but Jack, this is the ledger, one ledger. So the Medicis came along and said, no, there should be 2 ledgers. Jack, you keep a ledger. Mark, you keep a ledger. But here's the problem. I'm an unscrupulous guy. And the Medicis, they're inventive. So I say to them, I'm going to change my number to 200 and I'll give you half. So you come back to pay me the 100. I say, no, you owe me 200. And you're like, but Medicis. And they're like, Jack, you must have written down the wrong number. It just looks like you wrote down the wrong number. It was totally corruptible, that system. And we know the system's corruptible. The banks, the global banks, have paid fines equal to an amount larger than the market cap of Bitcoin. So my point is, I believe, just my belief, just one guy, that those big institutions, of which BlackRock happens to be one, may have had a role in getting some of these state and national regulators to clamp down on this upstart. Very similar to, I don't know if you know the story of the Knickerbocker Trust.
Mm-hmm.
The Knickerbocker Trust, right, was this, trust company, and they were taking business away from J.P. Morgan. And J.P. Morgan famously quipped, I like a little competition. But when they got too big, as the story goes, he personally spread rumors that they were insolvent. And we've all seen the picture of the guys in their hats and the women in their dresses and their umbrellas running, the little run on the bank, like It's a Wonderful Life. And he put them out of business. And then guess who got to buy the asset? JP Morgan. That's funny how that works.
The upcoming halving event in 2024 could have a significant impact on its price, with some models suggesting it could potentially reach new heights of $100,000 or more. However, the unfolding drama surrounding the regulatory approval of a Bitcoin ETF, particularly involving BlackRock, adds another layer of complexity. If the Bitcoin price rises to around $50,000, which we expect by end 2023, the share of newly mined being sold should fall to 20 to 30%. With the future of Bitcoin and the crypto industry at a critical juncture, what lies ahead in this crypto summer? Share your thoughts in comment section below. If you find this video informative, don't forget to show your support towards our channel by giving this video thumbs up and subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications to stay informed about our latest videos covering more interesting topics. Thank you for watching.